Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Keon. Welcome back to Key Investments. I do hope that this video finds you and your loved ones in great health. Let's go ahead and get started. Today we're going to be talking about my best and worst performing stocks. So usually on my channel we do discuss mostly personal finance, stock market investing, long-term investing for the most part. And so if that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure you hit subscribe before you go, and let's get started. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and dive in. I'm not sure if you guys like your good news first or your bad news first, but we're going to start with the bad news first today. And unfortunately, out of all of the different sectors in my portfolio, my REITs are actually the ones underperforming as of this crisis. Right now, I currently own 3 different investments in REITs. I own Realty Income, ticker symbol O, Vanguard, and CIO, which is a Canadian REIT, Canadian-based REIT. Currently, I am down on all of those positions. Unfortunately, a lot of pretty much the real estate market in general is in trouble right now because no one's going out looking for new properties right now, unfortunately. And those that do own multiple properties are having issues renting out properties to new tenants. And just in general, people are having trouble even paying their bills as of right now. So the housing market is unfortunately taking a hit during this time. Lower costs that be in my best interest. So I just purchased Realty Income as the price fell. As you can see here, around March 18th, the price fell as low as $41.08. But you could tell that it came back up, it bounced back a little bit, and then it dipped again around the April 3rd. And it's kind of just been plateauing at the low rate compared to before, where it was trading for around $83 or so. I personally purchased my share at $56, and on the 16th of April, they did award me with 23 cents as a dividend. And we'll see if they are able to keep up with the dividends or if they're going to have to cut dividends. A lot of companies are, unfortunately, may have to cut dividends in the future. We'll see how it pans out, but I do feel comfortable with this position. I won't be selling it. Obviously, I just bought it. I won't be selling any of my REITs for that matter. And so right now, all of my REITs are doing poorly. Another one of my underperforming stocks would be Disney. I currently own 3 shares of Disney. I haven't sold any, but also haven't purchased any. Unfortunately, a lot of Disney's revenue comes from its parks and hotels and resorts and things like that. And as of right now, according to this crisis, those type of facilities can't be open any longer, at least for the time being. And so that is having a huge impact on the value of this stock. And the silver lining, I guess, is that they do have a streaming service, Disney Plus. You may be familiar with it, and it's gained millions of new subscribers due to this social distancing. People are, inclined to stay inside and watch movies. And unfortunately, Disney had already launched this Disney Plus app, and so they're seeing revenue from that. But obviously, that will not be enough to make up for how much loss there'll be from the resorts and parks closing. So currently, I'm down 7% on that position. The price had dropped as low as during March 23rd, when things were pretty much at its worst. During this pandemic, the stock was down as low as 40%, 41%, and that's huge. So I didn't sell any stocks, but I didn't purchase any new stocks when it comes to Disney during this crash. But I am confident that Disney will recover. They'll have a box office hit soon, and they'll be able to open up their parks soon, and so they will recover. So that's why I will continue to hold this stock. But unfortunately, it is underperforming in comparison to a lot of my other stocks in my portfolio. So enough of all the bad news. Let's go ahead and get started with some of the great news. Actually, a lot of my stocks are performing pretty well right now. One of which being Pfizer. Pfizer is pretty much is a pharmaceutical company. It's pretty much a legal drug dealers. That's kind of what I call them. Unfortunately, there's always going to be people that are sick. There's always going to be people that have to receive prescription drugs. And Pfizer is a major drug company. They're responsible for drugs such as Xanax, Viagra, and a few others. They have been doing really well during this whole pandemic. They've been staying afloat really well. I currently own 11 shares of Pfizer, and I'm up currently 6% on this position. And you could see it's currently trading for $36.98. But around March 23rd, it did drop down to about $29. But it quickly recovered, as you can see here. And it's almost back to where it was, which is about $40 a share. It's currently selling for $36 a share. It's not that big a difference. Obviously, most companies took a hit during this pandemic, and unfortunately, it's going to take some companies longer to recover than others. I do believe that Disney's going to take longer to recover than Pfizer. As you can see, Pfizer kind of jumped back up immediately, whereas Disney and my other REITs, it hasn't been inclining as steadily as Pfizer. Also, another great performing stock in my portfolio is Square. Square, you may be familiar with it. It is Cash App, if you're familiar with that. There's also a small company that's able to service mostly small businesses, and it was actually given the okay to start giving out larger loans to small businesses during this crisis so that they can recover sooner. And so I think that's really awesome. It's kind of like it's growing to be able to even take the place of banks, major banks. Like if you're able to withdraw like a significant amount of money as a loan from Square, then who needs a bank at that point? And banks are skeptical to some people anyways, and they may feel more comfortable doing a loan outside of the bank. However, I own 7 shares of Square. I did tell myself that I wouldn't purchase any more stocks that don't offer dividends, but due to this crisis, which none of us could see coming for the most part, and definitely not as all of its effects on the economy, but the price of the Square stock dropped so low I couldn't not make any purchases. So I ended up buying 3 new shares of Square. And I bought 1 share on March 13th for $57.45. And then I bought 2 more shares March 17th for $84 or $42 each. And currently, which averaged me down, which made my average cost go down. So now it's currently $55.96 as average cost for Square. And my total return, I'm up 11%, which is $44. And like I said, the pricing was just way too good to pass up on, even though I'm actually having to take a step back and kind of reevaluate how I want to do my portfolio due to this crisis. But I know Square has a bright future ahead of them, and they also have free cash flow. Their balance sheet looks great and healthy. So those types of things make me confident that the company's going to do well in the future, and it also explains why the company's doing so well now. As you can see, late February, the company was selling for around $82, $83. And then around March 20th, March 23rd, when things were hitting its lows, it was trading for $40. $40 from 80-something dollars. It was trading for $40. That's literally half off. So I obviously couldn't pass up on that type of opportunity. I didn't purchase it at what it ended up bottoming out at, which is around $38. but $35 potentially. So it bottomed out around $35. Obviously, I'm unable to tell exactly when the stock is at its very low in the perfect purchasing time, but I definitely got in there when it was around 40 bucks or so. Yep, $42 I purchased it, and at first it was going down, and I purchased at $57, and then it went down even more a few days later, so I purchased 2 more shares for $42 each, because it was the price that still went down. But they do partner with a lot of small businesses, and small businesses are unfortunately really getting hurt right now, and so that may affect its earnings, but we'll see how they report pretty soon. All right, so last but not least, Netflix. Netflix is my best performing stock during this pandemic crisis, whatever you want to call it. Netflix has been bumping. Netflix is currently selling for $430 a share. It's an amazing company that's gonna stand the test of time. Netflix isn't going anywhere anytime soon. I don't care about all these other people that are dropping streaming services such as Disney, Amazon's got a streaming service, Hulu, those types of competitors. Nothing compares to Netflix. And if you have a Netflix account, you know that those Netflix originals, everybody's going crazy over Tiger King. I haven't really watched Tiger King. I actually don't even really watch Netflix. I don't really watch much TV at all. But I know how essential this company is to the livelihood and entertainment to so many people. So anyways, I'm currently up 48% on this position. That means I've made almost a 50% return on my investment, which is currently, as of today, almost $700. And I own 5 shares of Netflix. I actually haven't purchased any new shares of Netflix during this pandemic, but I definitely haven't sold any either. As you can see, during the when most companies were hurt the most around March 18th through the 23rd or so, you can see that Netflix was doing nothing but inclining during that time period. It dropped. Of course it dropped because so many other companies did as well, but it dropped and it recovered fast, and it even exceeded what it was trading at prior to. So that's amazing. They're seeing new subscribers due to this pandemic, and overall, obviously they're not able to create any new content right now, but I understand that they have an insane archive, and there's plenty of content for their users. And so if they could just work out their debt, and if their balance sheet just looked a little better, maybe then I would purchase some more shares. But unfortunately, they have just so much debt, and their company has so much debt, and that's just one thing that they don't have any free cash flow. So that's one thing that I don't like about the company. But other than that, I know how essential it is, especially at a time like this, and I'm glad that I had already purchased so many shares years ago, when it was like one of the first investments I made back in 2017. If you want to take a look here, last time I bought Netflix was 2018 in December, almost 2019, which for $250 a share. But as you can see, my first time purchasing this share, I bought it at $191. I bought 1 share at $191 back in the day when I first was trying to figure out what was going on with the stock market. I bought 1 share of Netflix at $191, and then I sold it, I guess, at $192, which makes absolutely no sense. But like I said, I was just figuring, that was 2017 when I first started investing in general. I was kind of still, learning the ropes, I guess. And so, ended up investing about 5 shares total. And it's just been performing so well. It's always been one of my best performing stocks in my portfolio, no matter the time, because it's just one of those things that people, they're just going to have that few dollars debited from their account, and they won't even think about paying them. It's just something that just comes automatic, and it's not so much to where it's missed. It's not so much money to where it's missed. But yeah, Netflix, guys, that's my best performing stock during this crisis. that's pretty much it, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let me know how you guys' portfolio's been doing in the comments. And let me know if you have any questions or anything. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button before you go. I'm out.